Hello everyone and welcome to my new video. What's this video about then? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take Ableton's hybrid reverb, oh that's the wrong folder, and put it in a feedback loop and make all kinds of dreadful noise with it that no one wants to hear. And then I'm going to sample it and turn those samples into music that no one is going to want to hear. Well, I'm going to have a great time. So I invite you to witness this sonic snippage. I think I probably need to work on my mic EQ. A little bit too much sibilance. I think a few people are getting a little bit cross with me about that. I would normally ignore it, but right now I'm feeling a little bit like I need to start listening to people. Okay, I've just got a nice glass of Beaujolais here. My vape's charged and full. Just put a new coil in. Lovely. Right, what am I going to do? Okay, so let's chuck the hybrid reverb on the return track. And let's get a limiter. Let's put the limiter. Probably what I'm going to do is, because I want to make this set available on Patreon, I'm going to stop halfway through, then jump back to live 10 and do the snippage there, which probably might mean that I'll forget whatever settings I had on my microphone, and my voice will sound different, so you're just going to have to live with that. So I'm going to put a limiter after the reverb on the return track. The sends are enabled, which means I can feed it back into itself. And I'm just going to do something which was pretty much the first thing that I thought to do when I saw this word algorithm down here. This is a thing I used to do actually back in Reason 3. I remember when Reason 3 came out and they introduced the combinator, and I was like, oh, this is so interesting. And that's kind of where it all started, actually. This is so interesting. You can like plug these LFOs into things and make them do stuff. And the first thing that I did was that I plugged an LFO into the reverb algorithm on there, one of their reverb units, and sent a random LFO to the reverb algorithm and then fed it back into itself. And I always thought that that was like the best idea I ever had. So I'm going to do it right now in Live 11 with the hybrid reverb using the Max LFO, which is now in this modulators folder. So let's pull that in here. And we're going to need a little bit of something to get the feedback loop going. So I guess we'll probably use the vinyl distortion. Let's go. So we're just getting a little bit. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to have a jam. Just, you know, do what you want. You don't even have to watch. It's fine. Just going to see what horrors lurk. Okay, so let's go full wet with the reverb. The limiter's there. That's all good. Do I need to put a limiter on my master? This is YouTube. I know people call this out when I do this, but like, I don't care. I don't care. I've done it now. There's nothing you can do about it. Don't call out the CPU. It's the beta. Right. So let's just start to feed this thing back. I just turn the push on so I can mute myself. Whoa. Okay, so that was quite nice. I wish I'd recorded that, but I didn't. Oh well. So I'm going to take a sample and a hold, well, a random LFO shape from here. I'm going to get this to go, I think that means 4 bars. 175 is a bit much. Oh, what have I done here? What's happened? What's happened to the tempo? The tempo says 256. I didn't say 256. Oh no, is this a bug? Is this a bug? It says 704 BPM. What's going on here? This might be a bug, people. So I'll just tap in. Okay. I'm not sure what's going on there. Is it because I tapped one of these by mistake? Anyway. Start again. Oh, okay. Just checking how long this LFO is. 4? Okay, that might be a bit long. Let's say 2. All right, okay, so I'm going to assign this. Oh, it's because I mapped the LFO to the song tempo. That's why. Oopsie. Okay, what I wanted to do was map the LFO to the algorithm. Okay, did I just do that? Yeah, I've done it. So you can see now that the LFO is changing the reverb around. I love this stuff because basically what happens is that when it changes reverb, it completely changes like the entire characteristic, not only of the tone of the sound whilst it's feeding back, but also the space. It's like, I love this stuff. So let's just do it, see what it does. That was a bit aggressive, I apologize. Once it starts feeding back, we don't need the vinyl distortion because it starts to just ride itself. Let's come down a bit on the limiter, -2. So we can push it a bit more. Okay. Yeah, what can we do with that? Take the same LFO maybe and map it to the size, but I'll invert the values. Okay, let's introduce that vinyl distortion again. There we go. Christ, that's scary. That's very scary. This is dangerous work. I might come down a little bit. You know what? I'll just use drum bus. Drum bus will help me here. Drum bus, compress, turn it down. There we go. Okay. All right, let's try adding some smooth here. See what happens. Oh, it's just random. This is random as fuck. Come on. Oh, I've lost the loop. All right, unmap from the size. Bad idea. What's happened to my feedback loop? All right. Oh. Okay, let's resample. I think it was because I didn't have the blend set to algorithm and I've just resampled myself. We don't want that. Okay. Come on then. Let's take the smooth down. There we go. Okay, well that was beautiful and terrifying. I don't know. It depends on what your perspective is. But I recorded 127 bars of that carnage. And yes, so probably what I'll do right now is have a quick listen to check that it works. Okay, fantastic. So now I'm going to hop into Live 10 and snip that up. See you in a bit. All right, here we are back in Live 10, and I've imported that sample. Let's have a listen. See if goodness me. There's a couple of quiet bits at the end. See what's going on. Oh, it's good, isn't it? Right, okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to basically slice that to a new MIDI track. I'm going to do it in bars. So I recorded exactly 128 bars, which means that we can max out a sampler, which is what I'm going to slice to. So it's going to go and it's done it. Okay. And there we have all our slices. Lovely. But I'm going to trash that clip and I'm just going to kind of, I don't know, I'm just going to have a little jam. So good place to start maybe is I might just draw in a load of these. Okay. And I guess I probably want to, well, they're all on different keys. So, sorry, I'm just thinking. I'm going to have a little wine break. Think about what I'm going to do. They're all on different keys. This wasn't quite really what I was. Okay, well, actually, what I might do is I'll just crop them all anyway to make them one shots. And maybe I might want to use them later. But actually, I think what I wanted to do was just use the whole file and just jump around the whole file, which is, I think for this kind of abstract stuff, is totally fine. I think if you're doing things where you've got clearly defined measures, clearly defined transients, kicks, snares, what have you, you know, doing it by transients or by measures probably makes a lot of sense. But this was a noise jam, so it doesn't really matter. But I've sliced them anyway. I'll just keep them in the folder. But actually what I'll do is I'll use sampler and just do it with the whole file. So I'll get rid of that. And yeah, because I quite like to use the sample and hold LFO to jump around the start position. So let's start with that. Jump around the sample offset, put the frequency to 0, re-trigger on so that every time we get a new MIDI note, the LFO will restart. And let's max that out. Let's have a listen to that. All right, interesting. Okay, so one thing that I find really interesting, this is my favorite thing. This is my favorite thing to do, especially in sampling rather, is that you can turn re-trigger off on the polyphony so that previous voices will continue with the envelope settings that they had for that current event. So the filters, the LFOs, the envelopes are all polyphonic, so they can have a different setting per note depending on how you've set up the instrument. But you need to turn re-trigger off. With re-trigger on, I believe that they all start exactly the same way for each new note. So what we can get with that, if we set a polyphony, is we can get these kind of like almost dub echoes, but like these sounds that kind of like can 1 minute be very close and very sneaky, and then can suddenly sound very far away and very large, you know. And I'm going to do that by, first of all, using some random velocity. Let's pull that in. By default, my velocity plugin is set to just randomize all velocities. And then we'll use the time to velocity. You can already hear it's doing its thing. Okay, let's drum bus it. Let's drum bus it like an idiot. I love drum bus. Come on. Get me the drum bus. Just gonna refill my vape. Hang on a second. All right. So obviously the more voices that there are, the more opportunities there are for sounds that are triggered or other events that are triggered to have a longer release time rather than them being choked by new voices. So if we go for 3 voices, or maybe even 2, let's go for 3. You'll hear how sounds get choked a lot quicker. Okay, I like that. Yeah, I like it. All right, why don't we try a little bit of pitch envelope? We can actually assign an LFO to the pitch envelope amount. There we go, pitch envelope amount. So let's use a sample and hold again, but I'm never really too sure what's going on with the boosting, attenuation, offsetting amount or whatever with these envelopes. So if I set this to 100 and then go back to my pitch envelope and set this to 0, I would think that that should mean that the LFO is kind of doing this, or rather the amount is doing that. But I never really quite get that result. Maybe I need to go minus. Because I was kind of expecting for some sounds to both go down in pitch and up in pitch. But it don't always do that. I don't know why. I'd like to know. Maybe it's like 50%. So if the minus amount is 48, then if I went to like, what's half of 48? 24. You know what? I don't care. It sounds fine. I might even well turn it off in a minute. I don't know. Sounds quite nice with one voice as well. Everything's just instant sort of chokes. Okay, I'm going to abandon the pitch envelope and instead route this LFO to the pitch, the overall pitch. Which is nice when you use more voices, I think. I'm going to go for 4 voices. I'm going for like a very haunting sort of like, you know, kind of rave concrete kind of thing. I probably should put a kick in there, but I'm not going to bother. I'm just quite enjoying the pitter patter. And do some beat repeats now. How long have I been going? 27 minutes, probably. I should stop soon. I don't know, it's so difficult to stop though when there's all this interesting sounds coming out. We can like use the oscillator modulator, what you know, I just call it the FM, to get like some interesting stuff. Yeah, it's good. I tell you what, whilst we're on a kind of resampling and cropping vibe, why don't we just record like a load of bars of that? I'll set the voices to 3. Okay, I'm going to mute my mic and I'm going to record 128 bars of this. See you in a bit. Hello again. Right, so if you've made it this far, you are a trooper. You've just listened to 128 bars of that. So, good. So let's slice this now by bar to a sampler. And it's going to go... And now I'm going to select all of those, crop them. And it's going to go... And I did not have any witty banter prepared for this part of it. So, yeah, you might just have to talk witty banter in your brain to yourself, which I do most of the time, day to day. That's kind of what I do. Just laugh at myself, my own existence, you know, have little jokes with myself, make myself laugh, you know, all that stuff. Okay. Done it. So now let's go right click and let's go show in the browser. There they all are. Those are all those slices. So I'm just going to grab all of these. And eventually I'm going to grab all of these. Okay. And I'm just going to pull those in and dunk them there. Okay. So now we've got like a load of those sort of glitch ups, but as loops. Oh, hang on. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Oh, I realize what I've done. I've included the ones that I did earlier. Oh, well, that's fine. Got these fun little loops that we can play around with. Lovely. Okay, so I think that's probably more than enough. So, you know, if you're into weird experimental music like me, then you might enjoy that. If you're not, then I hope you enjoyed this video. If you haven't enjoyed this video, then I'm sorry you made a mistake. I'm going to go and put this all on Patreon now. If you'd like to support me on Patreon, then that would be very nice. I'm always putting stuff on there. And yeah, and I will continue to put stuff on there whilst people support me on Patreon, because it's kind of my thing now. And that's all, really. See you again. See you next time. Bye.